Now, before we start, so that you can make your own unique fitted bodice block in your own measurements, I would like us to take a look together at this figure. All the women in this figure, in this image, are of the same size. This means that when they go to a shop to buy their own clothes, they will select the same size. If they want to make a ready sewing pattern, they will select the same size. But if you notice them closely, although they have the same chest measurement, which determines their size, notice how they differ. That is because the level, the length, the shape, and the measurement of the bust is different, and this affects the overall proportions of the body and create a different figure altogether. In reality, the relationship and the proportions of the different body measurements varies from figure to figure, creating a different result altogether. Notice also the level of the waist and hip lines. They also affect the overall figure, creating many and varying deviations from what is called the ideal figure. Now, in our fitted bodice block, we will use a measurement which is called the chest bust difference. Okay, this measurement will help us determine and achieve a more correct body fit. Today, I will show you how to make your own fitted bodice block in your own measurements. Take a piece of paper, usually 50 by 70 centimeters, fold it in half vertically, leave some space on top and on the left, and start creating a right angle. We will be using the AB pattern drafting template for this presentation. On the top horizontal, mark the chest bust difference plus 2 centimeters. This is the difference between the measurements, half measurements of your chest and your bust. Mark also the bust distance. In this case, it is 10 centimeters. Now turn your template around and at 25 centimeters, which is your bust length, draw a horizontal. On that horizontal, mark again the chest bust difference, as it is 4 centimeters plus 10 centimeters for the bust distance. Now we want to give the length up to the waist. Our waist, according to our measurements, is 41 centimeters, so we are extending and squaring for the waist. On the waistline, again, we will mark 10 centimeters, which is the bust distance, because that is where our waist dart will be placed. Move your template up and join the bust distance from bust line to the top with a straight line, and then join again the chest bust difference line to the top horizontal with a dotted line at the chest bust difference plus 2. Now up to this step, we use the ruler sides of the template to draw a frame for the block in the desired measurements. We will now start using the scales and notches of the template to complete the fitted bodice block in the size determined by half the chest measurement. So if your chest measurement is, for example, 84 centimeters, then half the chest measurement is 42. This means that we will use 42 on all scales of the template. The block will be size 42. Place the template with the inner notch on the right angle. Mark the highest shoulder point with scale 1. Mark the dot on the upper side of the notch. Slide the template so that the inner notch touches the chest bust difference sloping dotted guideline, and the arrow of the notch points on the top horizontal. Mark the lowest shoulder point and the underarm with scales 2 and 3 respectively. Now let's draw the neck curve using scales 4 and 5. From the center front to the highest shoulder point, which we mark with scale 1 over the top horizontal, connect neck point to the dart line on the shoulder. As you see, for each scale, I am marking the number of the scale. Connect neck point to the dart line on the shoulder. Now place the template with scale 6A on the underarm and draw the armhole curve to the lowest shoulder point. Draw the notch on the curve. Place the template so that the arrow of the scale points at the bust distance point on the top horizontal. Keeping the template straight, mark the dart width using the chest bust difference on the scale. In this case, it is 4. Complete the shoulder dart with a line from the bust point to the dart width point equal to the bust length. So if the bust length is 25 centimeters, I'm holding my template there and pivoting so that it touches over the point that I marked up to 25 centimeters. And then I'm joining these 2 points. Join the shoulder line. Now I'm measuring the length of my shoulder line. It is 12.5 centimeters, so this will be A and B. A plus B must be equal to 12.5 centimeters. This will be important when I measure and construct my back. My back shoulder line will need to be exactly the same. So when the darts are closed, they will join. Now mark the width of the waist dart on the waistline using the chest bust difference on scale 8. To complete the waist, join these points to the bust point. Now measure the width of the waist dart and mark it on the waistline from the center front. Now place the template on this point and use scale 9 and mark your waist measurement, which is 18. A quarter of the waist measurement is 18. Join this line to the armhole point. Draw a vertical line going to the waist. Now we're going to extend the top horizontal line and the waist line using the right angle of the template, and we're going to extend this to construct the back. Make sure that your template is straight and not tilted so that the lines are extended horizontally. Draw a vertical line joining these top horizontal and waist horizontal, which will be the center back line. The first thing to do on our back is with a dotted line to to create the bust distance line on the back. So we measure 10 centimeters all the way down and join this with a dotted line. This is important because it will ensure that if we have a back shoulder dart, it will be at the same place exactly as the front bust dart. Place the template with the inner notch on the right angle. Mark the neck point on the center back 2 cm below the top. Mark the shoulder points with scales 1 and 2 respectively and the underarm with scale 3. Now let's create the neck curve. Place the template so that the arrow of the neck curve points at the highest shoulder point. Draw the neck curve to the 2 cm back on the center back. For sizes 42 and over, draw the shoulder line. Draw the chest line. Draw the armhole curve with a scale 4 from the underarm to the lowest shoulder point. Draw the notch on the curve. The front and back shoulder line to match. With a difference between the back and front shoulder line, draw a small shoulder dart which would vary between 1 or 1.5 centimeters wide and 8 centimeters deep from the bust distance vertical and towards the armhole. Check the front and back shoulder line to match. Draw a waist dart on either side of the bust distance vertical, 3 centimeters wide, ending 3 centimeters below underarm level. Mark the waist measurement with scale 6, allowing for the dart. Draw the side seam from the underarm to the waist. In this way, you have completed the back of the fitted bodice block in the desired measurements and in perfect balance with the front. The suppression of the small back shoulder dart can be transferred to the lowest shoulder point when the dart is not desired. Just close the dart and take out suppression from the end of the shoulder. Redraw the armhole curve carefully. Now, if you practice making this block many times, you will gradually increase your speed and be able to draft a block without looking at the instructions. After practicing the first few times, you will be able to make this block in your own measurements in just 15 minutes. Good luck! Watch our series for the next lesson.